With the recent market sell-off, I am looking at XDC closely because I don't know if you guys remember from my previous video, but I did outline a moment where XDC continues to chop a little bit lower into a major demand zone. And it looks as though with this recent sell-off, we are finally getting it. This is what the current price chart looks like, and this is what I have had outlined since the previous XDC video, where we do hit this demand zone of around like 6.5 cents to about 7.5 cents. We are chopping within this blue zone. I do think that we will continue to hold the lows from back in April. There's a lot of significant support from back in this time. And I don't expect us to lose that 6.5 cent support zone. So I'm expecting us to chop a little bit more here on XDC. We're just kind of in this long extended downtrend, and this will eventually have that big squeeze to the upside, very similar to almost all of the previous downtrends that we have had in history. Like, for example, the recent one from earlier this year that led to the squeeze back to like 10 cents. That did happen back in July. And then previous to that, we did have that massive downtrend going all the way back to August of 2023, right? And this extended for so long, all the way into, the fall of 2024. But that led us to completely squeezing over that high wick from back in 2023. And we went absolutely crazy to over 15 cents. Now, I know that that doesn't sound like a crazy push in price, but going off of the lows, and you can just kind of go off of the midline here, we did do a 490+% push to the upside. So that was a significant push, and it was a great move on this overall chart. And now we're looking at a similar view here while we just kind of chop and wait for a big break back above the midline here at about roughly almost like 8 cents. So right now, current view is get through the sell-off and watch for a floor to essentially be formed around these lows. And basically what we would want to see is a nice uptrend form, some nice like higher lows, a little bit of support formed, and then after that we break above some of these midline levels, and then we could target that red zone yet again. And this time, hopefully, chop a little bit and then break to the upside. So right now, main focus, just kind of getting through this sell-off. And I know that it's frustrating, it's annoying, but this is still healthy price action in this space. And also, main thing to look at is just higher lows. So, we should not retarget these lows down here. We should hold higher lows around this blue zone. Sorry to interrupt the video, but gold just made a new all-time high yesterday. And if you want to catch the waves in both the precious metals market as well as the crypto market, ITrustCapital is your best friend. They offer both crypto and gold and silver trading, but that's not it. If you also want to tap into the IRA side of ITrustCapital to make sure that you are including both crypto and precious metals in your portfolio, you could do that. And also, premium custody accounts include both as well. So if you want to go and tap into this, you guys are more than welcome to in the description down below, as well as in the comments down below, utilizing my link where you deposit $1,000 and you get a free exclusive $100 funding bonus right now. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today. And with that being said, let's dive on back into the video. Beyond that though, we have been witnessing some pretty significant events announced around XDC, especially in October. We have over here from XDC Network. XDC Network returns to Dubai this October with an entire week of groundbreaking discussions at the XDC Innovative Labs. From digital payments and AI innovation to decentralized finance, tokenized assets, and infrastructure networks, each day brings a new chapter in the evolution of blockchain utility. Explore the full schedule below and register for your sessions in the thread. Now, if we're looking at this, there's a ton of events surrounding almost every single major thing happening in the crypto space, from DePIN to DeFi to RWAs to even AI to even payments. Everything that you can possibly think about around crypto that has happened in 2025 that has been a huge narrative. Guess what? XDC is covering it, and this is why this event is definitely going to be a big one to focus on, especially around XDC, because we're going to see a lot of big updates And we're probably going to see some announcements happen from this event as well. So I'm very excited about it. Now, on top of that, we did get a big announcement on the 8th, and that was this one: XDC Network advances in the US, Canada, and also Mexico. We have over here, XDC Network growth accelerates in North America. We have, through the proactive efforts of its global community, the XDC Network advances in the United States, Canada, and Mexico through integrations with Tier 1 exchanges, affiliations with large multinational blockchain organizations, and the launch of native USDC. XDC Network has created significant inroads in the continent that boasts the highest GDP per capita, positioning it for further growth and development in the region and beyond. XDC Network will support the next generation of payments for the world's largest remittance corridor between the US and Mexico. XDC Network was built for trade finance and RWA tokenization, and its robust infrastructure is also ideal for the payments industry. In early 2025, the network integrated Bitso, LATAM's largest cryptocurrency platform, which surpassed $12 billion in transactions in 2024. The well-established Bitso platform includes a suite of enterprise-grade APIs and regulatory access across Latin America. Together with XDC Network's ISO 20022 readiness, its low-cost near-instant settlements, and its state-of-the-art security, this integration provides solid rails for the future of cross-border remittances. Then on top of that, we also have this one down here, which was CIIT, which this is basically based around global trade. This seeks to provide an alternative to the long wait periods associated with the Panama Canal transit. This will also utilize a rail system to shuttle full-size cargo ships between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Its anchor towns, which we could all see here, are located in the south of Mexico, including loading times. The one-way transit or transport takes 6.5 hours. XDC Network's growth in the region is well timed with global trade breakthroughs like the CIIT. So again, trade finance is getting a big boost. And then of course, yes, we did see Circle's USDC and CCTP V2 are both live on the XDC network. This is great based around a lot of things, including of course DeFi, stablecoin initiatives, payments, trade finance, every single thing that we talk about on a day-to-day basis with XDC, this covers. And then, of course, yes, XDC Foundation became a member of the Digital Chamber. Several members are actively participating in the stablecoin and asset tokenization working groups. And with U.S. regulatory advancements underway, after remaining static for most of crypto's lifecycle, the Genius Act was signed into U.S. law in 2025 and creates the first ever federal regulatory system for stablecoins. The law ensures their stability and trust through 100% liquid reserve requirements, providing consumer protections through strict marketing guidelines for issuers. Further, this legislation intends to strengthen the US dollar's global reserve currency status. Now, the fact that XDC does have a seat at this table, essentially it allows them to work and essentially network with these major players that are aligned with, of course, the Genius Act. Now, on top of that, XDC Foundation also joined the Canadian Blockchain Consortium this year. CBC was founded in Canada, a nation that seeks to expand its digital presence to unite blockchain-oriented businesses and other stakeholders. Its members follow policy priorities for trust, innovation, and global leadership in blockchain and digital assets, as outlined in the From Chaos to Clarity white paper. It is great to see XDC Network's footprint expand across North America, states Billy Siebel, the executive director of XDC Foundation. This region has always been important to the growth of the network, whether we are integrating important remittance platforms in Mexico or lending our voices to the regulatory efforts in the United States and Canada. The XDC network will continue to have a strong presence here. And some other major milestones, of course, were Kraken and Binance US bringing XDC onto their exchange. We also have the RWA Accelerator program. I mean, there's just been a lot of great developments happening around XDC this year, and it's just incredible to see, which is also why when we go back to, the price chart, I mean, right now the market has been pretty boring. I mean, in the last year, most of these altcoins have done absolutely nothing, so we're just waiting and waiting and waiting, and all that pressure is just brewing behind the scenes. Now, on top of this, talking about some pretty big updates happening around XDC, we already know how big stablecoins are becoming. I think that this entire year, what we've been hearing about is how big stablecoins are becoming, how they're going to be the next big step for, finance to innovate with digital assets. And even when we're looking at the stablecoin side of the market, we just surpassed over $313 billion. It's crazy because just like 2 weeks ago, maybe not even 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago, we saw this thing surpass 300 billion.
This market is just on absolute fire, and we're just seeing increased growth across the board. Now, if we're thinking about that, we're also thinking about stablecoins on XDC. Currently speaking, right now, if we go to rwa.xyz, stablecoin growth in terms of market cap is up almost 50% in the last 30 days. We're about $24 million. Nothing crazy just yet. But again, a very good start. And growth is also growing in a big way. Most of that growth in terms of total value, we could see where a lot of that growth is coming from. Let me just kind of look here real quick. So USDC is up about 77+% in the last 7 days, about $7.9 million. So we are seeing some nice growth there. And I guess that's like the main grower here, just in the last like 30 days. But I'm really looking at the transfer volume whenever it comes to stablecoin market cap growth. So over the next couple weeks, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this when it comes to XDC, because I do foresee the transfer volume as well as the market cap as well around stablecoins on XDC growing in a big way, but also DeFi, right? Because we already know that there's been a ton of DeFi initiatives launching on XDC this year, especially with those accelerator programs. We have over here from Benny, this is the head of growth at XDC Network. Stablecoin market cap keeps growing on XDC Network, 13 million plus in USDC, which also that's kind of, showing us why USDC is growing in a big way on XDC as well. But a lot of people have not observed the potential of XDC Network in trade finance, where all these stablecoins can be utilized in different rails like DeFi, RWA, and even payments. Keep the eyes on the charts. The charts will tell you the truth. And even if we go over here to DeFi Llama real quick and we add stablecoin market cap, we could see that both TVL and stablecoin market cap is also growing on XDC. TVL definitely is down since going back to January. However, we've been pretty stable around like the $11 million mark. Stablecoins in terms of market cap definitely took a massive leap towards the end of September into the beginning of the month. It's up 32+% in the last 7 days. Again, most of those gains are coming from Circle. But I also like the fact that we are starting to see some growth happening around Curve Finance, which yes, did integrate with XDC. But look at all of the protocols tied back to XDC. I mean, we have 19 protocols tied back to XDC for, DeFi. And again, I just think that the DeFi market for a lot of these major networks like XDC, or even, we talked about this with XRP as well. These networks have been around for so long, and DeFi is just starting to sprout on these networks. And I do think that the growth from this point on around some of these key initiatives, especially when it comes to DeFi on these networks, especially the ones that are extremely efficient for payments and things like that, we are going to see DeFi wake up in a huge way. So, we're at about $11.5 million right now. I foresee this hitting at least $100 million over the next, I would say, give it like 12 months. I see DeFi on some of these networks really waking up. So I'm definitely focused on this. I think that payments, DeFi, trade finance initiatives, all of that is going to be a huge focus going forward, especially with how these markets are developing, especially with regulatory discussions happening. So XDC is definitely primed. I think that these events like this one with XDC Innovation Labs, this is definitely one that you want to lock in on, because again, Dubai has been very, very positive around crypto. We know that there's been a lot of moves being made around Dubai and the UAE. And of course, with XDC having all of these events, I mean, it's crazy to see these types of events based around XDC, but they have been fully focused on almost every single major narrative around crypto. So when it comes to XDC, you want to lock in on some of these events. These events are crucial for networking, for community growth, for partnership announcements, for, ecosystem announcements as well. So yeah, I definitely think that this is going to be a big one, but focus on the price chart. Today specifically, we are probably going to see a little bit more increased negative price action. I'm not so much watching like the weekend price action. I'm more so watching next week's price action with how the market develops around these tariff discussions. But I'm expecting XDC to hit the bottom range of this blue zone. So around like 6.5 cents, maybe a little bit higher possibly. But, I do think that XDC should bottom within this blue range. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.